Hello, 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 hello. Let's see if this works. Does everybody hear me so far? Just want to make sure my mic's working. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the May GameDev Meetup. Good, good, good. Hey, a lot of people today. Great. Let me go ahead and switch on over, just make sure everything's working okay. Wow. Yeah, here we go. Hey, how's everybody doing? Sorry about the mix-up. I didn't realize that I've been testing our next month's Game Dev meetup, and I did a accidental stream on there, so I gotta fix that. But glad everybody could make it. It is May 24th, 2025. My name is Wesley. I'm one of the COGG admins here. Today we do our monthly get-together at the end of the month, usually on a Saturday, and we do COGG news. So COGG, if you're not familiar, is the Central Ohio Game Dev Group. We're not exclusive to Ohio. We're not even exclusive to Columbus or Central Ohio. Anybody that's welcome and interested in joining us is more than welcome to join. So glad to see everybody here. Some new folks, say hello. Happy to have you. And if you have any questions throughout, I've got the chat channel up in YouTube. This will be recorded and posted up later. We have a lot of really good presenters today. So what we usually do is we do some COGG news in the beginning for a little bit, and then we have about 20 to 30 minutes for presenters to kind of come in. Where I'm basically just kind of throwing this through Discord, which I went ahead and put the invite there. So if you're new to us, feel free to join us there. That's kind of like our 24/7 workshop for all kinds of game resources I'll show here in just a little bit. And then after the show, if you want to talk to us and anybody that's presenting or just want to talk afterwards, we'll join the general voice channel in there and we can kind of hang for a little bit. So we'll be here for about, give or take about 3 or 4 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time. So feel free to hang out, have a lot of fun, and see some really cool projects. Cool. All right. Let me go ahead and swap on over to our COGG news. And then bear with me because I went and changed a couple things today on our live stream. So if you see anything where the audio's not working or visual's kind of strange, I'm trying to make it a little bit more seamless. Not a whole lot's changed too much, but I just want to make sure that things are running a little bit smoother. Cool. So as you know, it's Memorial Day weekend, so thanks for veterans for helping with everything that you do. Just kind of do a little remembrance there. But yeah, it's May 24th, 2025. In the background's a snapshot of some of our group from years before. This is actually one of our Game Jam events. And yeah, we're a great group of folks. Anybody's invited to participate, whether you are into games, not into games, if you have a project, don't have a project. We're just here to support and help each other. So any way we can help you, or just if you want to get involved, this is a great place to start. Let's see if I can move to the next one. So here's a listing, as all you may be interested in, what's kind of coming up for May. So not a whole lot happened more than usual for our our COGG group, excuse me, in this month of May. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so this is May. Yeah, but coming up in June, there are a couple things that I want to do a note. It's a little bit different than usual. Normally we have 2 events. We still have 2 events, but they're different times. Normally we have our prototype and play the second Friday of the month. We pushed it out a week because we're going to be in person at Game Arena. So if you're familiar with Game Arena, it's a really cool place to do esports games. So if you're into esports, this is a great facility. It's actually downtown, kind of near the OSU campus area. And we've been there plenty of times. We do this every quarter. So it's basically, I think, starting second quarter. So January, February, March, April, May, June. So June's coming up. So June 20th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we're going to be on the second floor showcasing games. It's very casual. You can come and go as you please. You don't need to really sign up. If you have something specific, kind of like, if you're doing VR or maybe you have some particular things you need for like a tabletop game, otherwise, you can showcase, like a laptop or something like that pretty easily. So if you do have something specific, you can just email us at info@thecog.com or message me in Discord. We've got a lot of admins there. We can help point you in the right direction. But yeah, if you want to join, just feel free to show up. You can go to our meetup page at meetup.com/thecog, and you'll see our event there as well. Second event of the month is the last Sunday. Normally this is the last Saturday, but this month for June is the last Sunday, and we're going to be back at our second event at Boxland Media. This is for if you're here for the GameDev meetup today. This is our online version of this event. And for June, it's going to be an in-person event, which is going to have a similar structure, just simulcasted to in-person. So that's June 29th, 4 to 7 p.m. on a Sunday, Eastern Standard Time. So a lot of really great ways to kind of meet people in person, get to know, different folks. So basically, same idea. We do some announcements in the beginning, then we open the floor to presentations. So definitely check that out. This one is more of a sign-up event. So if you're interested in that, I always tell folks, let me see if I can give you the real quick and dirty Google link. We have a Google Forms. I think we have that. If you didn't remove that. I'll show you how to get there because I kind of wanted to show this anyways. So let me go ahead and, oops, wrong button. So if you go to our website, I'll put that in the chat. And at the top right, I always like telling people this is the best way to get connected. So the M is for Meetup, which will take you here to this page. You can also go there. And if you find these events, as you scroll down, you'll see the GameDev meetup happening right now. Any of these events, if you click on them, the red ones, red orange ones, they should have a link in there for your Google form. And so that'll kind of take you here, and then you can sign up and do whatever you need to. So this will allow you to choose whichever date. So for example, if you're wanting to do the GameDev meetup for June, you would just select the 29th. And the time frame. Time frame is just kind of give you an idea. Like we start at 4. We're gonna do We're gonna do some announcements for about a half hour in the beginning. So 4:30 would probably be the first slot. Either way, just fill this out the best you can, and I will get in contact with you. And then we'll have you set up everything you need to for the event. So cool. So that's a great way to kind of see that. Just as a note, I've been saying this a lot. I've actually been doing some testing in the background. We are looking to maybe sunset the meetup page. It's going to be a slow process. It's just gotten so expensive. It's about it's one of those things that we had to figure out the cost. It's more than we pay it for our website, which is insane to me. So we might start doing more stuff through our website. We'll kind of keep you guys posted. It's not like Meetup is going away immediately, but what we might do is start circumventing our events from Meetup to our website's event page and kind of go through there through a more custom approach. But that's just to say that we are making changes. We're looking to revamp things in terms of our marketing, revamp things in terms of adding more in-person events. So just keep in the loop. There's some really cool stuff coming up. We're very excited. This year is one of our years we're really trying to push a couple things. And one of the big things I want to mention is we're trying to get more volunteers. Particularly, one of the things that we need for next month is if you want to help out with the event for Prototype and Play, you just maybe want to help set up, or if you want to help do some announcements, we need that. There's website stuff that we are always looking to do more of, and that might be just adding in news things, following up with people in emails. And then also the big one is the GameDev meetup. We're actually looking for someone to help with audio and video for that event. Boxland Media actually has, I'll actually show them. Boxland Media is a great space. They have, I'll put it in here, GameDev Meetup, June 29th, 7 p.m., or sorry, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then Boxland Media has a audio video person, but it's good if we can have someone with the laptop that we're going to provide kind of go through that with them. They can walk you through the process. Caleb's going to be out. He usually helps out with that this month, but if you're interested in that, let us know. No big deal if not. We've got a person that can help, but definitely check them out. It's a great event space. We used them last time. It's awesome. We'll probably have some pizza or something there when we do the event afterwards, so it's a great place to go. And if you want to volunteer, let us know. One great way to do that is if you go to the website, our thecog.com. Let's see, I think it's down here. There's like stuff for newsletter and for volunteer. I get these different sign-ups, and I kind of go through them. I just haven't had a chance to follow up with people. But if you want to be a volunteer, we're trying to grow. We're definitely at a point now where we could use some more people just because we're trying to do a lot more things. So yeah, if you want to join us, let us know. There's events like, events that we happen every month. GDEX is coming up, so we're definitely going to need some volunteers for that. It's a booth that we do at a game expo that's coming up in September, which I'll go over here in a little bit. And yeah, a lot of good stuff. So let me see if I can actually show some of this. If you let me. Thank you. All right, so this was Boxland Media, so definitely check that out. And this is our web page, which I didn't show, I don't think. If you go to any of the GameDev Meetup, you can click on this Google form link here to sign up for that event. Sorry, I feel like I'm jumping all over the place because I wasn't showing what I was hoping to. All right. Anyways, more to come there. Lots of good stuff. Okay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kind of move through this. So, again, that's Prototype and Play, Game Arena, June 20th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. GameDev Meetup at Boxland Media, June 29th, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then we have another thing that's called Community Spotlight. That's where if you have an event that you want us to share, whether you're releasing a game or you have a cool event that's coming out that you think people would want to know about, that's like a big thing that normally we want to try to do just like locally in this instance. But we're open to things. I mean, obviously, if you're releasing a game, we want to help you. But if you're like, we have an event in Japan or something like that, we may reserve that for that venue to support that. But if it's something in Ohio or Columbus, we'd be happy to actually make a meetup page for that and share that with everybody best we can. So just reach out to us if you have questions. If you have something better to ask than not to ask, and we'd be happy to help you the best we can. So we'll post on things like our Discord, our Meetup page, our Twitter page. Any way we can promote and help you, let us know. It's 100% free. We're just here to help. So any way we can help you, just let us know. All right. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, our Discord channel. Want to do a really quick shout out to this just because it's a great way to get connected with us 24/7. If you join in with us, you'll join in, the server joins. There's a welcome channel that tells you all the different COGG admins you can reach out to. I'm Wesley, so you can always reach out to me, and I'll help you. Caleb's pretty great. Tony's been great. Tom's great. So definitely reach out to us, or you can just do @COGG_admin. So if you were to type in this channel @COGG_admin and hit enter, that'll kind of ping us. I have our social media here as well, just like our website. Rules is a great way to kind of look over this. Please do. When you first join, you should see a lot of these to kind of help with that. Basically, just be a good person. That's all. And if you're sharing stuff, make sure it's not malicious, or if it's adults only. We try to remove that from our different not safe for work stuff. Try to not have that specifically in our group. But I mean, if you have something, let us know. We'll let you know if there's a way we can help share it, if it's a game or something like that. But the biggest thing is, if we always say, if your grandma wouldn't approve, we'll probably want to keep that to a different way of sharing. But we're public, right? That's kind of why I want to mention that as, we have families coming in with kids trying to understand how to get into the game industry. We want to be open to as many people as possible. So if we can work something out, let us know. We'd be happy to kind of talk things through. So if you're working on a game, these making game channels section, so this is kind of like a category over here on the left, and you can type in here if you have something like Unreal, Unity 3D, Godot, or anything else. You can ask questions in here, or post things. So we kind of bring this to the top just because a lot of people have very specific questions in these things. So feel free to use that. You can introduce yourself if you're new. Definitely let us know. We like to say hi. And then the big one that most of us will see from day to day is this community category. So this has kind of everything you need to know. The general is kind of a great starting point if you just want to say hi. Dev help is a great way if you have a specific question. This is a forum channel, so it's kind of like once you ask a question, it kind of gets put into these cards, and you can kind of type whatever you want to, and people kind of pop in here, help each other out. So if you have a programming issue, or if you have a question about art, or if you just have an industry question, this might be a great place to go. You can start in general with a kind of a small question, and then if it gets bigger, we suggest going to the dev help and asking there. Our Share Your Games is a great way to see what people are working on. Think of this as kind of like your home base. You can share your Discord link here. You can share your website link. And we try to show these if we can in our GameDev meetups. The more that you update, at least the last 30 days, the more likely we'll showcase these. If it's been something that's showed before, we try to reserve those if we have time for another date. But if it's brand new, we try to show those when we can, just to kind of allow for people to have enough time to be showcased. But you'll see ones from long time ago. We'll just kind of stack up here. So feel free to use that. If you want, resources is a great way. If you find a cool sale or some kind of asset or tutorial, this is a great place you can add a post here. COGG Let's Plays. We've had these before if we, showcasing a game, if it's like somebody else's game or a game coming out. Sometimes we'll do a one-off game showcase here. This is what our community spotlight is replacing. So we hope to do more of those in the future, these COGG Let's Plays. But for now, this is kind of like a great place. If you have something you want us to play, let us know. Maybe we'll do a live event. Business talk is great if you're looking to get into the game industry, or if you just have, different things that you want to talk about, for making a game and, making it a business or just kind of getting in. Art is pretty self-explanatory. If you have artwork here, this is a great place to see those updates. Sound, music, or sound effects or voiceover or whatever. Work in progress. We used to have this as like screenshot Saturdays, but you can post whenever. Like if you just want to show some cool stuff, this is a great place to go. Hardware was a cool ask. People are working some cool things. Looks like Duke's got his fortune spinner going. I love this. This is great. I can't wait to see this in person at some point. But yeah, people do hardware stuff in here in games. It's really cool. Like a Mickey Mouse controller. I love the controller vibes. Job and collaboration. So if you are looking to promote yourself, like if you're looking for a job, you can post your resume here if you want. If we're posting job applications, one of the things I posted before is my local alma mater, CCAD, Columbus College of Art and Design, was showcasing some applications in game theory, tabletop, digital spaces, level design. So if you're interested in teaching, feel free to look through here for that. Maybe that might apply to you. And so yeah, basically it's both. Are you looking for people to work on your game, or if there's game opportunities for a job, you can go here. If you want to share yourself, you can do that as well. So if you're looking for a job, you can post your background. I'm going to probably change this soon, I know I keep saying this, into a forum process, so it's more of these like card-like things. So keep on the lookout for that. Shameless plugs is anything that you think might be kind of useful for folks, whether it's your podcast or a news, or maybe it's your game that you're releasing. This is a great way to kind of post that here. Random is self-explanatory. External events is kind of like if there's an event coming up, whether it's a game jam event or anything else, this is a great place to share that. So we'll definitely see some GDEX stuff here. Tom usually posts that when they have the sandbox, which the sandbox is probably something we'll put in our meetup page or our community spotlight. I keep forgetting to do it, so apologies for that. But yeah, that's every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you see a ping, that means they're live. So definitely check them out. They do like a one-on-one fireside chat, usually with somebody in the industry. A cool place to kind of see some, talks about games done here locally in the Central Ohio area, which is pretty cool. Game Jam shares. If you're not familiar with the Game Jam, I know I mentioned that every 5 seconds. I feel like already in this stream. Game jams are kind of usually like a hackathon, a weekend game development event. And a lot of times we'll see people post their game jams or ones that they may consider going to. Maybe you want to join them. And it's a great way to make games in a short amount of time without all the consequences of like trying to make a game over, say, like 4 or 5 years, right? That could take a long time, a lot's at stake. This is a great way to kind of make a game really quick. You don't need game development experience. A lot of times they're themed on something, like an idea, and it's a great way to network with folks and meet some cool people. So we'll talk about a game jam here in a sec, but I just want to kind of showcase that a little bit for people that don't know. There's game time, so if you like to play stuff, I was playing Ultima Online last night, so I have a good friend of mine, Wyron, was hosting there. He does a Twitch stream, which is really fun. And pets. So if you got a pet, we like to see your pets. Music channel, if you'd like to hang and share some cool music. If you're working away, this is a great place to share some cool music. And then later today, we have our general channel that we're going to go to. So I'll share that a little bit at the end of the stream. But feel free to go in here if you want to chat with us for a little bit before we close up everything at the end of the day. This is a great place to go. When we do our prototype and plays in online, sorry, my headphone turns off. When we do our prototypes and plays online, this is where we go. So for this month, we had a couple of folks sharing their games in prototype and play, and that's kind of a great way to share your project. We do kind of like a round robin. We go from room to room and see each other's games kind of person to person. Whereas this one's kind of like a more formal presentation for the GameDev meetup after the news and everything. So this is kind of a great way to kind of see a work in progress. But cool. And then the rest of it's stuff that you don't need to worry about. That's a game jam I need to kind of collapse from another event earlier this year. All right. Sweet. So I talked about the Discord. Next thing coming up is our GDEX. So GDEX this year, again, for those who are not familiar, is September 4th through the 7th. It's a gaming expo at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. We do this every year. We collaborate with the GDEX folks and have a great time. They are, obviously tickets are live now. If you want to apply, they are looking for exhibitors, speakers, volunteers. It's a great way to meet with game development professionals from around the world, but also locally here in the Midwest. And it's a great place to kind of showcase what you're working on or meet others, for the weekend on, different talks, different shows. And they have a big arcade this year. And again, like we're working with COGG this year, which is like a retro gaming swap expo that's been combined with ours just to kind of do a really cool event with them. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Have a blast every year. COGG's going to be there. Obviously, we're going to have a booth. And for this year, we are also doing, as usual, our GDEX Game Jam, which I've been talking to Tom, and we have some dates for you. So let me actually make sure I'm not missing anything. You've already seen a lot of this stuff. So yeah, this is some of our event stuff. I probably can remove this page. But anyways, let me share this. You guys see that? It's still cut off at the top. Ha! That's okay. All right. This is the information for the 2025 GDEX Game Jam. So it's a little bit different this year. It's not too different, but it's a little bit different. And so, oh, cool. Yeah, I saw that. AJ's got a table. Great. Awesome. Yeah. So for GDEX, we always like to do a game jam before the event. which is kind of a fun way to kick off the event before it actually starts. So these are the dates. The main thing for you to know is we're starting August 1st. That's a Friday through the 10th, which is the following Saturday. So it'll give you about a week. Normally game jams are about 3 days, maybe two and a half. We like to do a little bit more casually, where you have the entire week to work on it. It had previously been like 11 days, I think, to jam. This year we're just gonna kind of keep it between the weekend to weekend. We're gonna kick off on a Friday night, give you the theme for the year, have you work throughout the weekend, then have the weekday the following week to work on it, and then have the following Friday, Saturday, and then end at the end of the day on the 10th. Then, just as usual, we'll have the judging period for you to kind of work on. This is actually a Tuesday. We're going to give you a break on a Monday just to kind of give everybody a breather. And then we're going to let everybody do a judging period between their peers along with game development professionals, looking through all the games. And we're going to have a best in show for this year, as we normally do. That's going to be a live reveal at the GDEX Game Expo. We'll announce it. If we can't do a live stream, we'll announce it on our networks for the best in show. So just, it's not really like an awards, like anybody's getting cash prizes or anything like that, but just kind of a fun thing to get people motivated to make some really cool stuff. So we'll announce that at the end too. But that'll be from August 12th through the 16th. 16th being when we're going to have an internal event. So you will actually, let me see. Yeah, it'll actually probably be August 12th through the 15th for the peer reviews. I need to make that down here. And then the 16th, we're going to get together like Tom and a couple of professionals, kind of look at the peer reviews and make a final decision at that point. That way we don't just get bots in there like, hey, I'm going to have my best game, and then someone with the most amount of votes gets unevenly voted on. So we kind of go through that. But we really do look through all the peers and see what everybody's best interests are, and pick the top one. So it's a lot of fun. We usually do peer sessions throughout the event through programming. We have people come in, do a review periodically throughout the week, and have a great time going over what people's games are, how they're doing, and give people feedback. So it's a great way to meet other people. We try to give an opportunity for people to talk to game development professionals and get some feedback and have a lot of fun making some cool stuff. So keep on the lookout for that. Again, main thing is it starts August 1st for about a week, and then judging period afterwards. And then September 4th through the 7th, we will have GDEX. And again, we're looking for volunteers, exhibitors, and speakers. All right. I don't know why I do that. Didn't need to move through. Okay. So that's GDEX. Let me make sure, actually, now that I'm looking at it, is there anything else I'm missing? Nope. Okay. Cool. I yapped too much. So here is today's meeting. So today we have a couple of guests. Thank you for coming by. We're really excited to showcase some really cool stuff. I'll have them in our live stream in here just a sec, but here's kind of the rollout of our presenters today. So we've already went over the local news, events, and COGG games and presenters. If you do have any questions about what I went over, just let me know, and I'd be happy to talk about that in the chat or in the live stream. But today we're going to kick off with our friend, Drift, who's been working on a game that you may be familiar with if you've been on these streams before, Rosefield Studios. And he's got a new feature, new delivery system. So we're going to showcase that real quick in Roblox. Then followed by Jake Connor, who's part of the Prospect Games, showcasing his Balloon to the Moon 2. He's got it live on his Steam channel, if I'm correct. It's another Unity 3D game. Then we also have the Grand Duct, who also has a build that he's releasing and wants some testing for his Akumba Estrella. So he's going to go over some of that with me as well. We're very excited for this, and then if we get a chance, we've got a couple games I want to do a shout out for at the end. And then after the stream, we'll go on to our Discord channel in the general voice channel, and we'll go over anything you have a question on. If you want to talk to presenters, if they happen to be there, and join us, or if you want to talk to me and talk to in person, this is a great place to go for that. And I usually do an icebreaker question, so since it's Memorial Day weekend, my question is, what heroes do you have in your life, game or otherwise? So think about that, towards the end if you have something. And if you just want to chat, all great too. So cool. All right. Well, I think that about does it. I think we're going to go ahead and start our presentation. So the first thing we have is a friend, Drift, and I'll have him join our chat. And let me just kick off with a video. So I would say, Drift, if you see this, you can join the live room whenever you're able to. Yeah, you can join now. Yep. And I'll showcase this video. So let me see if I can make sure I've got that live. There we go. Okay, see you in the room. Cool. I'm learning a lot here. Didn't realize a lot of this at first because I'm a bit slow uptake. Definitely excited. Yeah, welcome, Vive. Glad you can make it. I'll see if I can. I was planning to do a little shout out for you too. But yeah, let us know if you have any questions. I keep looking at the chat. All right. Well, let's go ahead and play a cool video. Here, hold on. Give me a sec. I swear to you, I changed the speakers and it still doesn't work. Okay. All right, let's do this again. There we go. I don't know if you can hear that.
How could you forget our anniversary?
All right. Awesome. I'm glad we had a chance to see that. Drift, you always make some really cool intros to this, so I'm really excited that we get a chance to show that. So, can you hear me? No, you're muted. Did I mute you? Here, let me see if I muted you. No, Okay, now you're unmuted.
Oh, okay.
You might be a little soft. Let me bring you up.
What about now?
Okay. Go ahead and talk now if you can.
Hello.
I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to our faces so you can see us. Hi! Let me get rid of that. Welcome to the live stream. Glad to have you. I'll be actually showcasing the game today. But yeah, if you want to talk a little bit about your project and your game, a little bit about yourself if you want, and let us know what we're going to be experiencing today. Here, hold on. Give me a second. It's a little soft. Not sure why. Let me double check. No, it's like... Oh, okay. Go ahead and talk now. Yeah, I think what happened is I had the wrong... Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I'll repeat
Wonderful.
what I hello everyone. I'm Drift, also known as the creator of Rosefield Studios. Today we will be presenting my main project, the County of Rosefield. So we will be kind of going through the game, testing the new delivery system in the game. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to ask after the presentation. I will be here too. So I won't be really presenting it. Wesley will be.
Yeah, some reason it's still a little soft. I can barely hear you. I've cranked you up, but if you're able to increase on your end, maybe that would be helpful.
I don't think I can.
Okay, no problem. I will just listen carefully. But let me go ahead and load up the game, and we'll get started. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Roblox, no data. Okay, we're back. Sorry, it looked like I had a hiccup. Cool. All right. For those of you who aren't familiar with Roblox, it is a game engine that you can kind of create games in, right? So in this instance, we've built, Drift has built a really cool game. Okay, I don't want to go live. Well, that's funny that it's got me in there. So Discord has a new thing, and I'm not as familiar with how to remove it necessarily. So we may actually have to have that on there. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted. Anyways, Drift has made this new feature in the game he's been working on for a year for County of Rosefield, and it's a new delivery system. So we're going to go over that. So if you have any questions as I go through, let me know. And obviously, like if you have time afterwards and you want to, do a little Q&A with Drift, we'd be happy to kind of take some time for that too. So let's go ahead and get started.
I see a problem already. The stream has a delay, so it might be a problem with giving directions and stuff.
Oh, yeah, there's usually a 30-second delay. That's always the case, unfortunately. That's why, like, when the previous presentations we've done, Drift, and you're like, turn right, and I'm like, oh shoot, that was like 30 seconds ago. So if you're watching the live stream, I mean, if you're in game, it'll probably be better, but that's up to you.
I can't really join right now.
Okay, I can wait. We might have Drift join us on the ride. Alright, takes a sec to load up.
At least this time I'm on the stream.
Yeah.
The chat.
And no big deal if not. I'll wait for you a little bit. But yeah, so if you're not familiar with this game, I'll kind of go to our bus. Jump in. But this is kind of like the starting point. You have this little avatar guy.
Oh no! I forgot to re-enable the shaders, as I disabled them to make the map.
Oh, it's okay. Because it's gonna take a bit to save that, right? So we can run with it. So Drift has actually, if you haven't showcased these before, but Drift did a revamp of all the buses. So yeah, these are kind of redone. He's been cleaning them up. One of the big things that he's been trying to do is create a system, because it's kind of like a tour, right? Like a tour of this town that he built. And he kind of wanted to make a system that allows people to self-explore the world and be able to have kind of like a tour bus take you around. So we've kind of developed a system for that, and it will allow you to kind of move through there a little bit. So there's a lot that, in a previous stream, there's always stuff that's being presented, so we'll showcase a little snippet of this. But just to be sure that we're going to be having a lot of fun, kind of exploring a little bit, just with some self-guided features. So Do you still need some time, Drift, or do you want me to kind of run the bus?
Yeah, I want you to run the bus.
Okay. Rosefield. I don't remember the name of the real place. Rosefield
No,
actually is.
Rosefield fictional.
It's not a real place, is it, or is it based off?
It's not her. It's theoretically based in Great Britain, but it isn't really a real place. It's more inspired by.
Yeah. So not a real place, but kind of based off of a UK location. So a lot of the buses are based off of that. A lot of the road systems.
It's mostly just like I go on Google Earth and just see, oh, this looks like a cool place, and I just recreate it.
Yeah. So yeah, Drift will do a lot of like, you know, ways to, you know, reference what he wants to build and makes it, right? So if it's like an overpass, or if it's a town or a building or something like that, or a bus, like we'll reference that and then make it. So a lot of the stuff you'll see, like progress, and some of it's kind of like, you know, redesigned, like maybe they're built out, down, back up. So where we're going today, we're going to, I don't know, well, is the place we're going to is something you've always had built, and then you just added the features like that?
Before it was Rosefield Factory, but the place that is currently in the game is completely new. It has been remade.
Oh, sorry, that's done. That happens sometimes. Alright. I am not the best bus driver. Whoop. Yeah, so there's been a lot of updates since the last time I've seen this, like farmlands.
Yeah, the whole area here is new. It all has been pretty much rebuilt.
Yep, yep. New roundabout.
It's pretty confusing because on the stream you just turned on an intersection.
Yes.
And
So this is the logistics. So it's kind of like a warehouse section. And actually found something new today, and I didn't know about Roblox. I made shift that turns on the brakes, and it should help keep the bus from going all over the place. So now, if I go to this box and I hit E, because I'm on a keyboard, interact, that'll start this delivery system. So now you should see up on my screen, there's a delivery system for Aspen Hill. So now I can take my bus and follow that.
which address you have? Because I don't see it yet on the...
Oh, it's Aspen Victoria Drive 6.
Oh, okay. So
Sure, that's
it's...
the same that we had.
No, it's not the same. But
Okay.
it's new to us.
So now I just follow the sign.
It sure tells you.
And that's, you kind of like, I was talking about crazy taxi, right? Like you have your arrow and kind of go to your destination. But for the most part, like, you might take different roads to this. There's like some faster than others, roads that you would take. And then, yeah, it's just kind of like going to the final destination of it and dropping off your supplies. But this is kind of a neat way that you can kind of go back and forth. create these systems. These little small, like, quite a lot to build this in there, are really important because it helps your players and audience experience these different places that otherwise might not discover. So that's really cool. Okay. So now I'm going to make a left here. I remember Drift was telling me when we were doing this kind of test that there's almost no right or wrong way through there. There's most of the roads kind of steer you in the right direction.
Yeah. It's pretty much like this.
If you're here before, you might be familiar with the COGG Cafe. There's always a rave there 24/7. Well, I'm not going to drive off the road just to get there. I'm going to have to get around. Alright, I wonder if there's a way to do a shortcut.
The delay is destroying it.
Oh, is it?
It's like I can't really give you directions because it's impossible.
That's fine, I'm like lost in the forest. I did it! Okay. 30 seconds from now, Drift, you're gonna be shocked and amazed at my bus driving skills. I wish you could see this live because it was impressive. I did a shortcut that I don't think you were supposed to do. Okay.
I just saw the bus like drifting on its side.
I mean, I did it. I don't know how, but I did it. Oh, okay. I don't think I should go over that road. I've later left twice. I'm gonna do the right way. Alright. Cool. So now, here's our first delivery.
Another thing I see is that the one here, GY, is centered. It should be centered, and it's centered on my laptop. I have no idea why it isn't centered on your display.
Oh, you're talking about... I might be using my wheel mouse to go in and out.
No, I mean like the display that shows you how much money you have.
Oh! It's probably because my monitor is so large, it might be shifting it to the left. So that, yeah, that's good to know though, right? Because the center might be center of a 1080p, like 1920 by 1080 monitor. But mine's 26 by 1440 or something. It's a 2K monitor, whereas a 1920 by 1080 is a 1K monitor. If I had to give a guess. That's kind of why you do testing, right? Because it's like how each player might be experiencing. Because I was like, okay, what would this be like if someone played it on the yeah, it's. I mean, you can't test every single scenario, but you kind of throw it out there and see what people think. You never know what people might find. So yeah, so that's mainly it. So now if I wanted to, I could go back to the logistics place. You'll get another delivery, and they're randomized, right, Drift? So like depending on
Yes, yes.
what I get, it's different.
Like, like a 4% chance of the same location appearing twice in a row. So
Oh, gotcha.
it's not high, but it's not low.
Well, what I might suggest is once you get the delivery, bring up the logistics place again on your map if you can, to go back. Because like right now, I don't remember how to get back. That might be something that's needed. If that's possible, that would be really cool. Then you can literally just go back and forth.
I tried making a minimum system, so
Oh, that reminds me though. Okay, I didn't even show this. I'm going to minimize this real quick. Back to the bases. This is the map. Forgot we had a map. So, yeah, where we were, there's this new area, farmlands. There's the remastered area, so it's stuff that you've been working on, Drift. They kind of create that. There's a highway remake that's kind of going on. This is always being updated. And then Sunflower Bay Progress. That's something new, right?
I mean, like, the whole city of Sunflower Bay is pretty old, but I started finally adding something to it, because as of now it's just roads and giant gaps to deploy.
Yeah. Let me see. Pull up the I'm just looking at the chat too. It'd be good to ride along with people too. I like the idea of going on exploration drives. Something satisfying about bus rides, really digging locations. Yeah. Bus against the trees. The fight we never knew we wanted. Do you transport any passengers? That is the idea at some point, right? Like you can bring your friends in when you play together. Eventually you can bring passengers. That's something you want to do eventually, right, Drift?
Yes, I might make a transport system, so you kind of make a road with a bus and kind of drive around it, giving passengers very money. It would be like an alternative way to progress.
Here, I turned down the volume of the game. I think it'd be a lot easier to hear you now, hopefully. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still
Okay, cool. Sorry, you say that again. It might be easy. Yeah, it might be easier to hear now because I've got that rave building going, and I think it was drowning out your audio.
like for like 2 months now, I'm saying to myself, I need to fix it, and I still didn't fix it. It's like that one tree that laid down on the road. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah. No, and that's fine. It's like you can always develop a game indefinitely, right? Like there's games that have been out for decades that are still being developed, quote unquote. But the thing is like getting the big rocks, so to speak, of your development cycle. So like if things are a little bit, needs touched up here and there, don't sweat the small stuff, so to speak. Worry about the things that are going to change the experience in a much larger way, right? So if it's, laying out the next city, or if it's redoing the bus system because like every 5 seconds the bus does a crazy front flip or something. I don't know. Not saying that your bus does that. I'm just saying if it did, fix those things, right? Fix the things that are going to make the most impact on the player and focus on those first. And then if there's like a tree that needs moved or a land that needs stitched up, then you can fix those as the other things become less important to be part of your focus, right? And so a lot of times when we're developing these things, we see all these small little things that we want to fix. I wouldn't even worry about those too much, right? Like eventually once you polish it and if say you were, selling a game, then those things, obviously people want to see those fixed. But definitely especially in the beginning and as you're kind of going through, I wouldn't worry about some of those small things. But eventually, yeah, you do want to get to those, right? Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, so far it's been awesome seeing all the progress you've been doing, and I'm so excited to see all the work, and we're happy to kind of have you when we can to show more of these things. But yeah, it's looking great. I'm super excited about this new feature. Can't wait to see it. Looks like we got some feedback from our group, and yeah, let me know. Is there anything else you want to do a shout out to before we log off for the day on your Roblox games?
Not really.
Cool.
I just want, but if I want to shout out somebody, I have to shout out my friend Pixel here, who's in the chat. So,
Yeah, and Pixel's on the.
wi-
It looks like he's on the stream too. So good to have you,
without
Pixel. Glad you could join us.
without him, this project wouldn't be possible. He helped me with pretty much everything.
Yes. Well, sweet. Well, keep us posted on things, Drift, and obviously Mr. Pixel. If you have stuff, you can always join our Discord. Keep us posted there and share your games. And hope to see you next time, in your next update. So, cool. All right. Thanks, Drift, so much. Appreciate it. And then, feel free to chat in the YouTube channel if you guys have more questions. I didn't see anything other than the passengers question, but yeah, maybe next time, Pixel, you can join us in the voice chat too. That would be cool. Um, but yeah, it's looking great, and I can't wait to see more. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and close out, but feel free to hang out if you want to. I know it's pretty late there for you. Um, but we'll kind of move to our next ones. But yeah. Let's see.
Thank you for presenting. Thank you everyone for watching this short gameplay. And I'm gonna drop off for today.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much for dropping in.
Bye.
All right, see ya. Okay, next one up. I think oh, what did I say? Now I'm getting confused. Sorry, it's been a weekend, man. It's been a weekend. So next up we're going to have Jake Connor. Jake Connor, let me know if you're ready. I know I kicked you out before we started. And we're going to showcase a little bit of your game Balloon to the Moon 2. Yes, that's 2. There is a previous version of Balloon to the Moon. And if you wanted to show something else, I know you have a couple other things too. So let me see if he's good to go. Are you ready to present? There you go. Cool. And I'm going to go ahead and share that. Awesome.
Oh,
Welcome, Jake. How's it going?
can you hear me?
Yeah. I'll turn you down a bit because I had it up for the last one. But yeah, talk a little bit about yourself, Jake. Let us know what you're working on, what you want to present today, and anything else you think our viewers would like to know about.
All right. Yeah. My name is Garrison Smith, but I go online by Jay Koner. I'm also the founder and owner of Perspective Games, basically a small independent company. Well, I mean, my small is just me right now, but I and I already lost my train of thought. But anyway, I have prepared a presentation for yeah. Uh, okay, hang on.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, okay. I'm like having like this weird delay.
It kind of cut off a little bit there. Oh,
Hang on, I'm sorry.
I know you're good.
I was having technical difficulties on my end.
Yeah, no problem.
For some reason, the stream was lagging behind me, so basically it was creating a.
Oh, an echo. Yeah, you don't want to. I always let people know if you're ever streaming, you don't want to play the video alongside yours.
Yeah.
You want to mute it.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to.
I can hear it.
Sorry,
Right.
if you're ever streaming, you don't want to play the video.
Hang on. I need to figure out a quick setup real fast. Screen for the presentation part here.
Yep.
I,
So I would turn off the YouTube audio.
yeah, I have done that. So let's play from the beginning. All right, so this is the presentation I put together through Google Slides here. This is my name again, Garrison Smith.
Okay, hold on a sec. Let me go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and mute you for a second so that we can catch up. So hopefully this should be better. But let me give me a second. Yeah, sorry about that. I think we should be good. I still hear you through your mic, but it should be fixed on there. All right. Ah, that would be it too. If you have a mic. All right. Yeah, that sounds better. Actually, I do hear a little bit.
All right. So.
As long as I don't talk, I'll shut up. You're good.
Okay. So we ready to go?
Yep, I got you loaded.
Right. So last time I did a presentation for one of these, I showed off Balloon to the Moon, and well, I've been pretty much showing this off at every possible event, with COGG or some other event outside of this group. But yeah, this is what I've been working on for the past few months. However, there's now a major announcement I gotta make. Balloon to the Moon 2 is finished. The game is now done and is coming out now. I just want to show off a quick trailer real fast of a trailer I made for the page here. This right here is the game. I just want to show off a quick trailer real fast of the trailer I made for the page here. This right here is the game. Trailer's just kind of some basic gameplay here with so the release date is going to be June 13th, and it's going to be available on Steam, itch.io, and GameJolt. Right.
That's great. Yeah, I shared your Steam page. Congratulations, man. This is awesome. I know you've been working on this for a while. So I can't wait for it to be, out there for the public. So June 13th, everyone, keep that on your calendars. I went ahead and sent out the Steam page so you can wishlist that. And any way we can help you, Jake, let us know. We'd be happy to share this when you've got it released.
Yes, right here I put the QR code to the Steam page. And one notable thing about the Steam version over the other versions is that the Steam version does actually make use of Steam achievements, and the game is playable on Steam Deck as well. Although that goes for a lot of Steam games, to be fair, but yeah. But yeah, you can play on the Steam Deck or on the go if you want. But I'm just going to leave this up for a second if anyone else needs to uh, if anyone just wants a moment to get the QR code or something. But uh, but Wes here has said that he also put the link in the chat.
Is that different than the Steam link, or is this kind of like a landing page?
This is the just this will take you to the Steam page.
Oh, okay, then yeah, you're good then.
So now this kind of raises a new question: what now? Uh, so right now we have several projects that are in their concept stages. We have a Project Frontier, which is a semi-Metroidvania where you explore a newly colonized planet and fight mutants. The game's in the conceptual stages, but some gameplay has been implemented. There's also Project Steel Dungeon, where you explore a dungeon in a mobile tank and fight monsters in a post-apocalyptic world that is actually thriving, because I didn't know like there was a apocalypse, but the society's actually thriving after the apocalypse. I just don't know what the term is for, because post-apocalyptic implies that everything is crappy and all that and not good, but so I didn't know what the actual term is for after the crappy part and society's doing really well. But right now that one just has some graphical concept. There's no gameplay on that one yet. And then there's a Sharp Platforming, which is a semi-sequel to Sharp's Tower Adventure, as it stars the same character. This one's going to be a fast-paced action platformer. Most of the gameplay in the concept stage is done. However, I'm actually looking for a team on this one. Then there's Project Star Knight, which is an overhead action RPG. This one's mostly just graphics, but there is some gameplay, although not a whole lot. There's also Project Skylab, which is an overhead platforming shooting game. Most of the gameplay concept is 95% done, but development is kind of dried up on this one. But if I'm able to assemble a team, then I'm going to finish it. And there's also some other projects ideas I've been considering doing, like a podcast about video game developers. Right now, I'm just looking for other game devs for the podcast. So if anyone wants to kind of join up for that, maybe just shoot me a link on maybe just say something in my Discord server or something. And I also thought of doing a magazine which is dedicated to indie games. It would probably be mostly just an online magazine with a couple of pages, but I might do limited physical copies or something. Also, I've been reached out to Play Manatee, which we reached a potential partnership on to host my games on it. There, nothing has been done yet, but we are working on that. And also, sorry that the image is low quality. It was the only one I could find online. And
That's
of
really
course,
cool.
Perspective Games is going to be showing up at some expos. The most the most recent one will be the next in-person COGG event at Game Arena, which is what Russ mentioned at the earlier of the stream. Will definitely be there. But a day after that, I'm going to be showing up at the Torx Gaming Market on June 21st to 22nd, or Saturday to Sunday maybe. Although, wait, I just realized that that might be a conflict of interest there with Torx and COG. So I'll look into that. And of course, we'll be at the next GDEX event in this year. And if there's any other GDEX side quests like MissouriCon, we'll definitely be there as well. Although although I'm assuming maybe MissouriCon might be happening. I don't know what the status of that is, but anyway. Here I'm just going to go show off some gameplay now. I'm going to stop sharing for a second, real fast.
Yeah, that's great. Sorry,
Sorry.
thanks for talking about Torgs. I don't know why I forgot about that. I think I'm used to Torgs being at the end of the year, but yes, Torgs is coming up. I put a link in there, so if you guys are interested, it's at Cedar Point this year. It looks like 21st to 22nd, and I think they had a soft event this month or last month. I forget. But yes, Their main
West,
one is coming up
by the way.
in Sandusky. Oh, you got streamed? Okay.
Wes, can you turn on the can you turn on the stream?
I clicked on yours. It might be a couple seconds behind.
Yeah, I had to shut it off briefly because I was changing tabs real fast. Anyway, this is some of the intro here. I actually tried to do like a bit of an intro presentation here for the game. I'm really not the best artist, but this was like kind of the best I could do for drawing characters.
It's cool. I love it.
Yeah. Trying to go for that like anime aesthetic pretty much. Oh, like also trying to be a bit retro as well. Right? So this is our main menu here. There are some hidden modes you can unlock by beating the game. Right, I'm just going to start a new game. Hello, my name is Peter. Let me get you catch up to speed here. In the last adventure, I really wanted to go to the moon. I got the idea to use balloons to get there, and it worked. However, it turns out the moon is already inhabited by what they call moon rabbits. They look like humans but have rabbit ears and a tail. I'm apparently the first human to discover them. They apparently use magic to hide from satellites and drones, but anyways, I was quickly discovered by them, and they took me to their princess. Once I met her, I was greeted with kindness, treating me as an honorable visitor. She actually is quite curious about Earth, and she asked me plenty of questions. We actually got along quite nicely. I even learned her name is just Princess. However, she knew that I intended to stay and live on the moon, but she told me that cannot be at the moment. But then she thought about it, and she came up with an idea. She told me that some of the moon's most sacred treasures have been scattered around the moon. It would be very difficult for the moon rabbits to gather them. She then explained that balloons have been scattered around the moon due to humans from Earth releasing them, causing them to float up here. She then told me that my mastery of balloon bouncing can make it possible for me to gather all the treasures. She told me if I could get all the treasures, she would give me permission to live on the moon. She also told me about 5 elixirs scattered about the moon. She told me that if I can get them all and take them to the potion maker, not only would it help me get all the treasures, but it would also help me with living on the moon. I agreed to accept the trial. Princess showed me a teleporter and stepped through it to start the trial. She wished me good luck and I stepped through. Now I need your help to complete the trial. Good luck. Right. So I'm going to hit start here and yes. Hi, it's me, the Moon Rabbit Princess. Even though I came up with these trials, that doesn't mean I can't help you. To move, use AD or arrow keys on the keyboard, or use D-pad or analog stick on controller. You're going to have to jump over this with W or arrows or a space key, or press A or X for whatever controller you're using. I'm going to start just going through this trial since I think you guys want to see more of the gameplay, I think, but anyway, you don't want to touch these things because they kind of kill you. And those 2 things that turn purple back there, the flag is a checkpoint. Whenever you die, you just respawn there. Might want to grab this, but and the other ones are the goddess statues. They also serve as checkpoint, but save your game as well. So anyways, she's saying that we can't actually reach this right now. We don't have the jumping ability to do so, but if we can collect the 5 elixirs, we can enhance our jumping ability, basically. Unfortunately, we can only collect, this is the only one so far. There's 5 in the game. And you can also see that we have a map that tells you where you are and how many treasures are in an area. Alright. So this is like the first main area in the game. You have to collect all the treasures and you basically kind of have some freedom on where you want to go. Basically, you can, there's like some branching paths that you get to take and all that stuff. Anyway, so like this right here is kind of a branching path where you can kind of go up here and or find 2 more branching paths, and along these paths we'll find some treasure. Anyway, so we got the 2 treasures around here, so we can backtrack here and go up to here. I'm not gonna make that. You can kind of just fall down as there's nothing really dangerous down here. There's a split path here. Keep going right if you want to meet me. So we could either go down here or just keep going to the right.
And this was all built in Game Maker Studio, right? Are your other games coming up you think might be using the same tool, or do you might explore some other opportunities?
Yeah, all our games are made in Game Maker Studio. Yeah, so basically, this was a bit of a puzzle here. These platforms are locks. If we grab the key, the platform where it disappeared in, we wouldn't be able to grab the treasure right there, but... So this is kind of like meant to be like, that's meant to be a slight puzzle in a sense. However, even if you do grab the key before you grab the treasure, you can just leave the screen and they'll respawn. So anyway, I got another of the potions here, or elixirs, and I got all the treasures in the area. But this is what I mean by that they respawn, the platforms are back. Alright, so this right here is Potion. Hi, my name is Potion. Princess told me about you. You can't get that coin up there, but I can help you. Meet me by the stand in the garden. So yeah, we can't grab this one as well. And this right here is kind of like the end goal. Once you collect all the treasures, you're supposed to come back here and enter that door, pretty much. Alright, good to see you again. Once you collect all the treasures, enter the palace to complete your trial. Good luck. Also, we can teleport throughout the moon, so don't be alarmed if we meet somewhere else. Okay, there's a typo again. That's a good thing I can just send updates to Steam to fix that. Alright, so I'm going to go down here now. There's another split path. You can keep going right or down here. I'm just going to go down here for a little bit. So, oh yeah, all these gold treasures right here. You have to collect every single last one of them in the game. These gold things that are blinking yellow and white here. Okay, there's Potion again. This is where we store all the elixirs and potions I created. I've been doing this for a long time. Isn't this a vast collection? And yeah, it definitely is, with a lot of colors as well. Right, there's a save down here. I'm just going to grab that, and I'm just going to head back up. Alright, now we're in the garden here. Yeah, garden, so... Also, I've actually done all the music in this game, by the way, so,
Yeah, what did you use to make the music? I forget what you said before.
GarageBand.
GarageBand? Okay. Yeah, it's really nice. Sorry, I apologize for the tearing of the screen. That is not how the game looks. I think that's Discord or whatever's kind of coming through, but...
How much time do I have left, by the way?
You got a couple more minutes, like 5 minutes or so.
Okay, if you collect all the elixirs, I can make you a potion that will enhance your jumping abilities. So that's kind of our goal here. Now we actually can't keep going left because I don't can't keep going. I mean right. Sorry, my bad. I'm getting my directions mixed up, but yeah, I can't make that jump not until I get the 5 elixirs. Right, so we can go up here though. This one's a little tricky because these balloons move fast, so you kind of gotta time your movement here. Hi, my name is Sentry. I am the Enforcer of the Moon. Right now, just be extremely careful. You wouldn't want to fall down up here. Not even the Moon Goddess softens the fall. Right. Right, and these right here are clouds. I guess I kind of skimmed over the balloons, you know, that are in the title, but yeah, those bounce you really high, but these clouds right here only bounce you a little, I believe. Yeah, they only... Well, not that I believe, I know they only bounce you a little. Right. There we go. Now we're actually near the top here. And as you can kind of see, the music does change a little bit every once in a while. There's Princess again. The earth looks so beautiful up here. I can't believe you made it all the way from there. Right, there's a coin here. Right, so let's go down here now. That's just kind of a puzzle. You can't get it when you're going up, but you can get it while you're going down. So that's oh, I mistimed that jump. All right, we gotta time this one because this puzzle right here is a little tricky. All right, there we go. All right, got it. All right. So we gotta be a little careful around this puzzle. Come on, let's see if I can. Oh no, I didn't time it right.
Sorry, I'm being a little bit soft. I'm watching and trying to get not too much echo back, but it's really cool. I like the retro vibes of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone was saying, yeah, music is nice. I've never used GarageBand, but it always looked good to me. Yeah, I find GarageBand to be pretty easy to kind of learn.
Yeah. It was kind of the only
Nice
software I
quality.
really had after a while. But, oh my, they're at it again. Those cloud racers love to race in the sky every Tuesday. They put others at risk. Because, yeah, if you get hit by them, they kill you.
I love the
I guess
little
you kind of saw that.
little pop-up dialogue NPC messages. Those are fun.
Yeah. But, yeah. Oh, that was a little close. These guys move pretty quickly, so you always gotta be just a little careful.
Man, when they
Get
skim the
shortcut.
bottom, when those clouds skim the bottom, they can really catch you off guard.
Yeah. Whoops, I misnavigated again. Okay, yeah. Yep. But you're here again. I've had it with those cloud racers. They always cause trouble and put others in danger. Just make sure to watch out for them. The factory area. Or Sky Cannons area. Yeah. That's where we are right away. Okay, gotta move.
Yeah, I don't know if we
Oh,
got
I'm
to.
so sorry for this. We have to protect the moon from an invasion. Princess says I'm overreacting, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Although I'm sorry you have to navigate through this.
I don't know if we got to this. Maybe we did. I can't remember to this level last time. You should.
This was a little
It's-
tricky because normally I just come the other way, and it's always kind of. So I'm like not quite used to coming this way.
Yeah, it's neat. It's definitely got that Super Mario Brothers vibe with the cannons, but it's much more chaotic.
Right, there we go. There we Right now we're in Slopes 2, I believe, or Mountains 2, I guess. There's
Yeah,
another.
I noticed that when you look at the map, you can now see your character and where they are.
Yeah.
That's great. I don't know if you had that last time, but I think I remember that something be said about that last time we were talking about it, and I think that really helps people know where they are.
Yeah. Right. Okay, there's another elixir. Hey, there we go. Got that one. Oops. Actually, it might be good because I just saw something we kind of need to grab. Do you want me to wrap this up or something, Wes?
Yeah, when you... No rush. We got a couple more minutes if you need it.
Alright, I'm going to stop sharing my screen again. I'm going to bring up a new, my first screen real fast.
Cool. Sorry, and if you guys see me turn my head, that's just because I've got the stream on the other side, so I am watching.
Right, so anyway, this is, any questions or, and as okay, so thank you for listening, and this is my any questions as well as if you want to follow me on Blue Sky Discord, find the Steam page or go to my itch.io page. Here's the links.
If somebody was asking, is there a demo? Yeah, you have itch, right? Like it has a demo, and I think.
Yeah, I put the demo out before, so yeah, I have. There is a demo out there.
Yeah, what I would suggest is you can join our Discord. You could talk to Jake, Connor, individually, or you can go to the itch page. I know that you've had a couple games there, not even just this one. There's quite a few on that page. And yeah, you can reach out to him individually if there's not one readily available. You can talk to him about looking up the game as well. But yeah, there's used to be just mostly itch.io, and now there's Steam as well. But definitely would start on the itch page and see if there's some there as well. And if you want me to share a link, I'm happy to post that as well in the chat while people are here.
I think I put a lot of this in share my games tab, and I also have like a prototype and play channel that's still open on this server.
Let me see if I can share that.
Any other questions?
Yeah, anybody else I know, give him a sec, because I know it's like a little bit of catch up. But if you have more questions, let me know while I get this link. There's that itch.io page.
Yeah, you can submit your questions in the YouTube chat. I'll see them.
Cool. I didn't see any questions up there. Yeah, looks good. Just some good comments all around. So, yeah, great work, man. I'm super excited. Like I mentioned before, June 13th is the date to mark down for this release on Steam and sounds like everywhere, right, Jake? Or is it only on Steam that's being released June 13th?
It's going to be on Steam, Game Jolt, and itch.
Okay, so that'll be
the only thing about
everywhere.
Steam release is that it's easier to play on Steam Deck, and it also Steam also has the Steam version has achievements as well.
Cool. The one question that got brought up, is there anything you learned from the first game that helped you with the second?
I wouldn't say like well, okay, I kind of learned. I think I learned like some general advice. First game was just kind of a linear platforming game. It was one of those more challenging platforming, precise games. There really wasn't like much to the level design outside of that. I do know like I kind of like embed the philosophy of I think one thing I did learn about the first game development though is that actually making precision platformers is actually probably easier than you might think because normally you just gotta fill the levels with just whatever's hard rather than like like anything cohesion or like you don't have to worry about like like you just have to worry about making the levels hard but not like I don't know what the term is but like
It's I've heard it say before like it's easy to learn but difficult to master is kind of a saying that comes to my head where it's like,
yeah.
okay, I understand where I need to go, but and it looks easy enough, but then once I get in there I start to realize, oh, okay, it's a little bit more challenging than I thought it would be. That becomes kind of
Yeah,
an entertaining aspect of it.
and I think there was just kind of some personal stuff. Like I think this was at a time when I was kind of like sort of stopped with game development, at least for a little while at that moment. And it was kind of like that was kind of like just me getting back into game development a little bit, and it was also the thing where I think I kind of like eventually learned that I needed to like. And I know this might be a little ironic to say, but I think this first game kind of later on sort of was kind of what not to do a little bit for game dev. Not so much that the game itself was bad or anything, but I realized I wanted to like make like any significance. I needed to like stop making my games like 15 minutes long or something like that. I gotta like at least try to make something maybe a little bit more interesting and
Yeah, it's definitely balancing those. I know like Voodoo saying, yeah, if you're focused on just making challenging puzzles, you don't think about how it's all connected. So once you see and play through things and you get some feedback, you start to realize like what people are kind of looking in for that game and how you can make it improved and make it entertaining. Uh, Looking at everything and balancing, right?
and
Uh,
I remember where some of the inspiration kind of came from was that I learned about the game Jet Set Willy, which was a ZX
hmm
Spectrum game. And I thought like, oh man, I kind of want to make something like that sometime. And then I remember that like, oh yeah, Balloon to the Moon, like the graphics on that one, they were sort of inspired by ZX Spectrum. They weren't like I think it was kind of unintentional to some extent, but it did kind of look like that. So I thought, I could probably make it like Balloon to the Moon 2, like a semi-open game or something like that, by
yeah,
just making the gold pieces mandatory rather than just optional like they were in the first game.
yeah. I see. Viv Games says, for sure, I understand how it feels. It took me a month to understand how to create a system or a Steam page, excuse me, and get it visible the first time I did it. Learned a lot of what not to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like releasing the game. You start to realize there's a lot more to what you're building than what you anticipated that might make it easier for people to find it, play it, and then
And like another
engage
thing
in
is
it.
that like I think uh, this one was more kind of focus on design with Steam in mind a little bit. Like even like Infection Rouge Deluxe, which was my first Steam release, that one was I will kind of recall was just kind of a more of a test with Steam than anything else. Like I didn't like really make use of any of Steam's features. I just implemented a Steam API and like just implement the bare minimum pretty much.
Yeah,
Uh, this one was designed with Steam, kind of from the start a little bit, and like some of the last days of development were dedicated to just getting all the Steam features I wanted in there, mainly the achievements.
yeah. That's the hard thing. Is same similar thing can be said about like the platform you choose, right? So if say you were trying to create this for like Xbox, right, or PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever, I'm sure there's some things that you would probably want to keep in mind as you're developing it to consider those different aspects. And it could be purely just the store and shop that it's going to, right? Like, if you weren't on Steam, you may not even consider the achievements that you would want to maybe put on there for a game like this. Whereas, on itch.io, it's kind of like, hey, I could just throw it up there and people can play. Um,
Yeah,
So it's important to think about those things if you decide you want to move towards a platform, or if you want to, have it showcased in a certain way. If it's controller, or if it's keyboard, or whatever. For a little bit, at least, you should consider those things while you're developing. Sounds like, anyways. It sounds like what you're kind of getting into. But yeah, this is cool, man. I'm super stoked. I'm super excited for your release. And I'm so happy that you've been able to kind of showcase these. And if there's anything we can do to kind of help get some momentum, let us know. But it's looking great. I can't wait to play it when it's released, and maybe we have to do a bit more shout out throughout the year to get the ball moving. So, but yeah, anything else you want to note before we chime off for today? For our
No,
audience?
I think that's about everything.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for sharing, and we'll keep you guys posted on the release. And if nothing else, uh, we will bring in our next one and keep you in the chat. And if you stick around and you want to talk to people afterwards in our Discord, you can talk to people then too. So,
Bye.
but all right. Thanks. See ya. All right. Next up, if we're ready, I would say Quessy, if you're ready for your presentation. Let me see if I can. We like to call him the Grand Duck. Let's see if you're ready to join us. But yeah, this has been really great. If you want to be part of these presentations, obviously, like, you can be in the chat. You can kind of hang out with us for, for whatever extent you need. But if you want to present, like I mentioned, if you go to any of our meetup pages for the GameDev meetup, or I'll actually post it here while waiting, transitioning over. Present to GameDev meetup. Just fill out that forum, and that just helps us kind of prepare. How about GameDev? There we go. Hey, welcome, Quessy. Is it Quessy, right?
Oh, yep.
Okay, I
How's it
always am
hanging?
like, there's no way it's Quessy because it reminds me of Wesley. I'm like, that seems like a coincidence. So.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, we got names that rhyme, so like I think it
Yeah.
works out, you know?
Yeah, no, I love it because then hopefully it's like something I can remember back to. But yeah, welcome. It's not your first time here, but it's also an enjoyment every time you're here. So I'm excited. If you want to go ahead and give a little introduction to yourself, what we're going to be presenting today and talking about, and anything you want us to showcase for your game today.
Absolutely. So some of you guys already know me, but for those that don't, my name is Quessy Christian. I am the creative director for Afroduck Studios. We're based here in Columbus, Ohio. We've been working together as a team for quite a long time on this singular project, but it's been a big passion project that has seen a lot of development and progression and transition over the years. I'm pretty sure Wes can probably remember like our first alpha that we put together, first time we went to GDEX. And now it's kind of transitioned into something I think a little bit more refined. But what do I know? I'm just the guy that yells at my team to do it. They're the ones that do the real work. So I am a faux developer. But yeah, we are here to showcase our vertical slice build. Currently, we're in the stage of polishing up that vertical slice and are actively looking for funding as we're putting together our pitch deck and just kind of seeing what opportunities so that we can create this into like a full game because we definitely have big plans for our IP and the project in all. So
Well, what
yeah,
I'm gonna do as well, I'm gonna switch over. I sent out the Steam page, so the name of the game is Akumba Estrella. Is that how you pronounce it?
that is Akumba Estrella. And the Steam page, what's currently there, I will say that is an older build. I think we're maybe 5 or 6 versions ahead of it. We are going to update that page, but you can kind of get an idea of what the game is from that Steam page, I would definitely visit our website and most importantly, join our Discord. Because that will be how you can play all of the current builds and do some play testing for us.
Yeah, let me go ahead and
I can
get
share.
yeah, share
Oh,
what you
okay.
want. Share what you want. I'm
I
just
can give the Discord link if anybody wants to join, because
is
we're
that
definitely trying
is that your
to.
Discord link is in your website maybe? Or
It should be, yes.
oh,
Yes.
here it is
So
at the
our
bottom.
Discord and everything should be there.
There
Yep,
you go.
yep.
Cool.
Awesome.
Copy that. There you go. Yeah, because I mean that's how I found out about this. Is I'm part of their Discord, and I saw that they were pinging folks for, helping to test this vertical slice. And this is really important, right? Like I think it goes without saying that we can't make as great of a game without the feedback and support of our players, and knowing how to make iterative changes in process, because we kind of live in this bubble, right? Of
Hmm.
creating this project, and sometimes, like I was talking about before, like 4 to 5 years, sometimes 10 years, and you do your best to kind of get things through, but a lot of times it's not until we put it in front of players, especially folks who are new, and get feedback that we can really start to drive some important changes and experiences for that game. Because I always like to say, like, my game isn't my game, it's your game, and evolving it to the community to build something really, really important and really, really amazing with the help of everybody's support. So if you have the time, this is a big ask. I say it's a big ask because it's like really important that if you get a chance to try to, play and test these games, and this anybody that's on the call, it's a big help for our developers. And it's something fun to do. I mean, what's better than like playing a game, right? So, but yeah,
Yes.
I digress.
It was fun.
But yeah,
Yeah. So I guess I can screen share. Let me share my
yeah.
screen here. We'll do entire screen. Sure, screen one. And I think that should pull up
Some Pringles.
that. And then some Pringles. Yeah. We got the Pringles. We love
Space
Pringles. I'm not confident in how the audio is going to play, but hey, let's find out. We're testing it live.
If you're sharing your whole screen, it should be fine, but I'll walk you through it.
Yes. Okay. So it should be showing up here. So yep. And this is kind of different. I'll walk through as quickly as I can, kind of some of the stuff that we've done. This background intro, huge shout out to our character designer Ren. She does such an amazing job when
Yeah.
it comes to all of our designs. Very, very even bigger shout out to our original character designer, Yaira. She left the team a while ago, but her designs have influence and kind of stayed within it. But yeah, this is kind of, as this is a vertical slice, we want to show publishers this is the kind of level that we can do with no funding. So imagine if we do get funding and like we can actually do some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of just giving the idea of the coming of age story for Estrella, Bells, and kind of what the adventure is going to be. So, yeah, let's go ahead and start this out. The transition here was made by Tully, one of our lead art directors, and also help supported by Ellie. She's done an amazing job in directing the art style for the game. Animatic here done once again by Ren and Serena. They are amazing artists that I met throughout the game development. What you can see kind of so far right now is setting up the layout of what the vertical slice is going to be. You see Estrella, you see Bells, they're going through a jungle. Estrella uncovers a new path. There is a gate where she's like, what's going on? And it's kind of selling the idea that Estrella, she is a very curious child. She likes to explore, she likes to build, she likes to tinker and do all of these things. We've really put a lot of effort and design in understanding her character, because this game is such a narrative project. We want people to immediately fall in love with Estrella and kind of her journey. So all of these animatic scenes that we decided to do, because we can't afford animation, but hey, who can at this day? We really wanted to just showcase just how grand this adventure was going to be. So,
Well,
yeah,
that's what's
here
really
we go.
cool is you know, you might, because you said you're going to be pushing this to a potential publisher for funding. They might come in and say, cool, like this is great. Let's take this and animate it, right? Because you figure out that budget. That's something you can do. So you can say, if you want to animate this, this is about how much this would cost.
Yeah,
But to your point, look at the animations within the characters right now in gameplay. That's awesome. Like her twirling the hammer. I love it.
yes, thank you. Shout out to Ellie once again, all of my animators. I'm just gonna shout out everybody because I know who did what,
Yeah.
and they just did such an incredible amount of work on this project. I love my entire team. And one of the big things that we really wanted to do was showcase this as like the full project, right? It is an RPG, very linear, lots of inspirations for those who have played like our early alpha and even the stuff that we put out at GDEX. We've got a lot of comparisons to like Hades, Diablo, but we really just kind of wanted to make a game that told a really unique story. And that's kind of, what we were able to come up with here. So right now the story starts out Estrella, Bells, they are inside of the factory. They're about to go exploring. This is actually a new section that we just added, tutorial. So originally we actually had a tutorial level that we were going to put in, but that would have taken a little bit more time than what we had for our, like budget, which is $0. But in terms of time budget, we're like, we need to actually create a kind of like slideshow of showing how to play the game. So this is actually a new feature that we've introduced with these slideshows, just kind of a concept to show what the player can do. So if you're using controls, if you're using mouse and keyboard, you are able to do either or. So right now we have Estrella and Bells running around. Some really core features about our project, right? So the characters are all sprited. It is a 2.5D game, meaning characters and enemies are drawn on an 8. My artists are going to yell at me for saying this incorrectly, but I'm just going to say it. I think it's like an 8 grid, so they are drawn in all 8 directions. They can move pretty much all around. But
Yeah,
all
that
of the
looks great.
props, all of the props, all of the environment is 3D modeled. So shout out to our 3D modelers, Megan, Jamie, Kayla,
And
Rose. Yeah,
that's
all
one
those.
of the significant differences from when you first created this game to what it is now, is that there's a lot more of these. I mean, obviously there's a lot more other things, right? Like, mechanics and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the decision to go from pure 2D to like a mix of 2D, 3D was kind of a big choice, right?
It was. If you go back and look at some of our old YouTube videos, it was a full 2D flat, kind of like Zelda style. And I think what pushed us over the edge of making it 2.5D was the fact that we just didn't feel the characters had enough depth, and there were a lot of different abilities and things we wanted to do that just wouldn't look as cool if we didn't make that shift, especially with the camera angle.
Yeah.
So it really does help here.
And it looks really great. I think a lot of people are like, oh, if we do that, because we did that on a project I was working on before, but it doesn't always mean that it makes it easier.
Yeah.
What it does mean is, to your point, I feel like you kind of brought out, is that it makes it a better platform to present things that you want to showcase about the game, right? Whether it's lighting, or you talked about depth within the environments and the characters being able to explore this space. And I think that's important to consider, is that sometimes it is a technical thing. Sometimes it's like, man, I wish we could do this, but it's like really challenging to showcase that. And that's important.
Absolutely. Yes, it's extremely important. And I would say we really didn't make this huge shift until we kind of started out with the idea from Rose, who kind of came up with the idea and concept, and we tried to implement it. But it really didn't take off until our second art director, Tully, joined and really just went ham on like, let's try to make the camera angle this way. Let's work with the lighting. Let's work with the tile sets on the ground. Actually, make it really feel like an abandoned factory and like these characters live in it.
Well,
So,
like you're walking
for shout out
across.
there.
Go ahead and walk across the blue light. I just like the shadow.
Yes,
I know that's
the
weird. That's
shadows
just me,
were
but that's
really
cool.
hey, this is the game developers meeting here. So like we talk about nerd stuff like this. The shadows were really tricky. I wish Tully was on here to talk about it, but that was a really big detail we wanted to include. And you can tell whether or not you are Bells or Estrella, how the shadows will reflect on the ground. So that is a really, really cool thing. I was happy. So yeah, talking about some of the core features here instead of us nerding out about
I know. Sorry,
shadows.
it's my bad.
So no, you're good. You're good. This is what I love talking about it. So you can play as both characters, Estrella and Bells. They both have their own set of abilities and melee attacks. So Estrella wields her hammer. She can swing it, hit the ground, and she also has a burst attack that you can use while moving as well. While Bells is more focused on quick punches and very rapid fire looks. So you can see as she moves, she can do a burst attack, which allows her to quickly hit enemies. So right now you can see there's a weird bug where when one character does an attack, the other replicates. I think, yeah, it's only when you're Bells, Estrella is copying Bells, but that is a bug that we're currently trying to squash, which playtest so that you can tell us that you encountered a bug. But yeah, so
Showcase you're human.
in case you're human, exactly. So yeah, melee attacks are very important, but if you see on the right-hand side of the screen, you see something that we call the action menu. So this is kind of a nod to what Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and other action-based games do, where every single button on your controller in terms of the triggers or bumpers are mapped out to specific abilities and crystals that you yourself can set, and each one will do different things. So right now, the left bumper for Estrella is set for her fire crystal, water crystal for the right bumper, left trigger is her golem cannon, and then right now she has nothing set for her right trigger, but I'll showcase how you can do that already. And then if you see for Bells, she has only two things that are set up. She has her Shadow Claws, and then she has her Claw Release, and then she has her water ability. And what's really unique is every single one of the crystals, even if you put a fire crystal on Estrella and put the same fire crystal on Bells, their attacks are completely different from each other. So we really focused around the idea that you're not just picking one character because they all feel the same. It's because you want to use certain abilities or melee attacks in order to help get you through the game. So yeah, enough talking, just general stuff. I'm just gonna kind of play through the level. So this level is a full build, which is what you see available right now. Right now I'm fighting some enemies here. You can kind of see how combat moves pretty quick. And then this is just showcasing, how you can heal your party after battle, some things here in the slideshow that we can do. And Wes, stop me if I talk too much or if you have questions. I know I'm kind of going really
Oh no,
fast.
you're great. Yeah. No, I like how there's obviously a lot going on, but you've got a lot of different indicators about what highlights, right? Like, so what you can interact with. You've got these indicators that kind of get popped up so that okay, this is maybe something to inspect or to read. So those are like kind of really important things that I'm sure that you kind of brought through as people kind of playing through the game. But yeah, it's looking great so far.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the indicators because it's something that we're still kind of polishing up a little bit. One of the things I'm really trying to push for is have points of interest that are kind of marked on the mini map that you see in the top right hand corner. Right now, the mini map is kind of just there for show. It's not necessarily communicating a whole lot of information, but in some of our internal testing, we realized that people don't know what to do when they're just kind of walking around unless a cutscene triggers them and tells them what they do, or if they are, reading the interaction between Bells and Estrella. So we're trying to find solutions to help guide the player to their next objective without being so intrusive on top of them. So yeah, that's definitely something
That's definitely a hard balance. It's like I was talking about before with Jake's last information about level design, is that it's kind of different than real life, right? Like real life, you want to find your car keys so you can get in your car. You just want to know. You don't want to be like, I don't know where it is and I'm going to do a quest. It's kind of like that in games though. Like you want to know that you're going through something that you're not going to miss, right? So if it's like an NPC or like a cutscene like we're seeing here, you don't want to miss those things because that's part of the entertaining part of it. So having something like a mini map and indicators throughout the world is going to be really helpful as you're kind of going through these explorations and whatnot. And you might find something that you're like, oh wow, that was really cool. Like I found a power up or I found a new monster. That's kind of the point, right? So having those things accessible is really important because you're creating this story, you're creating this experience. So yeah.
Agreed. Absolutely. And then where we are in the game right now, so Estrella and Bells, they just discovered there's a door that they need to get through. Estrella is unsure. So this is another example of an indicator. It's communicating to the player they need one of this specific item. We'll call it a crystal battery for now. And, right now Estrella is like, oh, the door is locked. I could come back later. But Bells is like, no, let's just keep looking around. And then also here, another big shout out to our, artists. The portraits are completed by Ren once again. I think she's done such a wonderful job in kind of capturing the essence of Estrella. Our game kind of has some different art styles going on, and it's been really tricky to find that balance for everybody. I know Ellie has beaten her head against the table trying to wrangle up all the artists and get a cohesive style going on, but I think we're finally in a pretty interesting groove where everything does feel cohesive. It could always be better, but I think we're in a good spot that communicates kind of what we want to do moving forward with it. So these portraits with Bells, with Estrella, you can kind of really see the level of detail that we include with their eyes, the hair, even just kind of like the folds in their jacket. And that's not even just talking about the portraits, but if you look at the sprites themselves, there's a lot of detail that we have included with it.
Yeah, that can be a challenge as the project is really long. You're going to have to change people out. So it's always good to have, they usually have design documents for this, right? Where you go through and you say, okay, here's the quality and the mechanics of what these characters go through in their creation, whether it's a portrait or if it's like a sprite. So it's good to document those things as you go through, especially in mid to large projects like this. Because you you have someone come in and you'd be like, hey, we're looking for an artist, and maybe you go through and you find someone who's a great artist, but do they fit the bill, right? Can they make these things?
Yep. That is correct. 100%. A new feature here that we've included in our build, we finally have an in-game kind of store that you can actually purchase items. So everyone's like, oh, it's an inventory system. And you're right, it's an inventory system. But this is just kind of the concept of it, that you can actually come in. There is currency in the game that you spend. We call it ZETI, so it is an internal currency. And so shout out to James, one of our senior writers. He actually made an entire blog post on our website that talks about our creation of our in-game currency and ZETI and other features. So that is something we want people to test and kind of tell us how it feels if they're getting what they need. So you can buy things or you can sell things at the same time. So yeah, let's see if we can keep going here. And I'm going to start using some of the abilities to kind of showcase what we're doing. So I'm going to fight these creatures, and I'm going to use Astrea's water ability here. Or sorry, no, her golem cannon. So you can kind of see that's an ability she has. Here's the water one, brings out tidal waves. And there's Bells, there's the AI doing some damage to this enemy. Let's see if the AI can beat it on its own. There it is, boom. AI work is hard.
Dude,
And I'm
these
not talking about the popular AI chat, whatever. It's like setting up game AI is not easy.
the OG AI that was originally for games. Yeah, those battle scenes are like epic, man. They look really cool. Like the different abilities.
Thank you. Yes, yeah. There's a lot, because it's an RPG, there's a lot of abilities that we are wanting to implement. And even though we know that it's going to take work, we also know that it's going to really make the game sell, not in terms of a monetary value, but just like make people appreciate the differences between Astrea and Bells. There's a lot of different things that we do to make these characters feel different. That isn't just a narrative. I really wanted to direct this game from a narrative originally, but also showcase how these characters communicate and are, you know, existing in the world, from the way that they walk, the way that they use their abilities, the way that they fight. You know, even something as simple as their idle animation. You can see Bells is like ready to go, you know, like ready to defend, while Astrea is just like twirling her hammer. It's kind of like a little, like a fidget spinner for her, if anything. So, let's see. So, going through the story. So right now, Astrea and Bells, they've discovered a blueprint. Astrea's like, oh my god, I want to build everything. Bells is like, calm down, kid. We just got to get what we need. So once again, you kind of see the differences between them. Let's see. So they're going through. Now, oh, this is another big feature we've introduced. We now have a crafting game that you can play in order to build different tools and items for you. Specifically tools right now, but it will allow you to build them to be able to be used in combat and such, and you can also dismantle certain things.
That's cool.
So that is a feature that we've worked on for a very long time, but now it is there. Still needs some work, but you know, the core concepts of it are available.
So it's kind of like a rhythm game almost to build stuff.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull
timing
it up
game.
here. Let me pull it up once this cutscene ends. So here is our workshop. We call it Astrea's workshop right now, name pending. But if I wanted to build something, let's say I wanted to build this E-core, or we'll do the Tribat. So there's two modes. You can do autocraft or manual craft. If you do autocraft, you will automatically be given the item and it will just craft it immediately. Or if you want to possibly gain extra of the item, you can do manual craft. And this is where the game comes in. And you're right, Wes, it is a rhythm game. So we'll do manual craft and we'll start it up. And right now, this version doesn't have all of the features, so I'm definitely going to fail this game. I'm not good at my own game, but we're going to see what happens. One of the things we still need to add is the fact that you can see what button you want to push. And I think, defeat. So you failed at crafting the Tribat, which means you wasted resources and you'd have to try again if you wanted to do it. So yeah, now if I was actually good at this game, let's see if I can do it again. I doubt. I'm gonna try. If you notice in the top, there's a loading bar. So as you get each one, the bar will go up. So let's try it. Come on. I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah, we
Hey.
did it. Victory. All right.
Yeah, the thing I
That was
appreciate is that you give the player the choice to do it or not, but then get earned points for doing this and doing well. Because like a
mhm.
lot of times, people's minds are different in how they play, and there's a lot going on in these kinds of games that some people, especially if you talk about accessibility reasons, are not going to always be able to play something like that. And so giving them the option of, hey, I need this at some point.
Mhm.
Maybe I won't get as many resources, but you know, that's always
Yeah.
important to think about everybody's capabilities, whether they're really good at those kind of games or parts of the game, or even just, like I said, accessibility reasons might be difficult.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yep. What's really funny with you saying that, so I have no shame in admitting when I am wrong. Um, the crafting feature was something that I originally wanted to force the player to do because I'm like, yeah, it's fun. Everybody loves crafting. And it took, I think, 3 of my devs to sit me down and say, Kwesi, nobody likes to craft like you do in games. You have to give the player choices to do it.
You do.
And I was like, all right, but then what if you're like, no, just give him the choice, please. So it took 3 of my devs to say, okay, no, we can't do it. Or we can do it, but we want to make the game fun. So
Well, that
that is kind of what led to it. And they were right. I have no shame in admitting the director was wrong. Great. My devs were right.
well that's important to note, especially when you're getting feedback from folks, because I like I mentioned before, you have your idea, you send it out there, and what is your game now becomes somebody else's game and their experience on it. And it's because of their background and what they're able to do and how they understand the mechanics. And then you have, like, your own team is another part of that, where they play the game that everybody's making together. That's their experience. But it's not until it's
Mhm.
actually released that it becomes, what does the world think of it? And it can be kind of stressful, right? It can be like, oh man, what's
Yeah.
everybody going to think of? But I think that that's kind of also the fun part of it, is that you release this thing that you worked hard on, and it's really cool to see it kind of take legs of its own and
Yeah.
maybe even become this thing that you never even thought people would play the game this way. Or you
Absolutely.
make a part 2, or you would add updates or whatever, because people get feedback like, I never thought that people would play the game this way. And it's
Yeah.
really neat. So something to keep in mind is that try to not just be so tied to the game that it can't be anything else than what's in my mind and even what's in my heart of what I want it to be, because it
Yeah.
can become so much more when you involve other people. That's the point of it, right? It's the experience.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love these
Game
illustrations, by the way.
development. Yes, yes. So I figured I should share what some of like the other abilities are. So, narrative of the game is, this is Astrea's journey. So everything is about Astrea. You can kind of tell the UI has the paper textures and kind of all these like designs. But when you go to the menu, we were heavily inspired by, I think like Life is Strange is a really good
Oh yeah.
example. I will give Rose, if you're listening, yes, I'm staying on public uh, facing. You were right, of course, as usual. Rose was the initial person who came up with the idea for having a journal as like our menu to really sell the idea of Astrea. So everything about the pause menu is written as if it's Astrea writing it, even down to the font, which was designed. All of the assets for the journal were designed by Ren. Once again, amazing, amazing artist. So all of these doodles are kind of meant to showcase what Astrea does. So right now, in our consumables, that's kind of like our normal items. You can see Astrea has drawn and written out all of the things that she's collected, and she's even made like little notes on what these are. So we kind of have the in-game communication of what this item does. So this baobab seed, it cures all ailments for a friend. But then you have Astrea's description. Papa says we're all like baobab fruits. The seeds and flesh may come from the same place, but we all taste different. I don't get it. Why are we tasting people? And that's kind of like the little cheekiness of Astrea. It's like she takes things very literally, but she also has her own spin on it. Huge shout out to James. He did a wonderful job in writing a lot of these descriptions. I would say James has gotten closer to his inner 12-year-old girl than he probably ever has, trying to write from the perspective of a kid, which is really hard. So we see that. Same thing with crystals. You can collect crystals, as you already know. Different materials, which Estrella uses in her workshop to build things. So she has her own notes for them. Accessories, which we haven't collected anything, but those are basically your armor that you would collect in the game. And then any tools, any tools that Estrella has already built that is in her inventory. In the inventory, so this was all the bag page. Now we have the journal page, and this is where you get more of like the lore. So we have the bestiary, people, quest, and notes. Bestiary showcases all the enemies that you've defeated so far and what Estrella's description of them are. So once again, selling the idea, Estrella is journaling everything that she can about this game. So this is the Foof creature that we designed, which, fun fact, this was a joke throwaway enemy that we just made in our first implementation, and it kind of just stuck around. We liked it so much. So you can kind of see Estrella's description of the Foof with some things. We have the worker golems that she's been fighting, the Seduas, the little baby Seduas with, and then the Kolos. And the whole idea is, you know, these doodles are being drawn by a 12-year-old girl, or even just like 12-year-olds in general, and they're not the greatest artists. So it was really hard to get our artist Ren to take her level of like the portraits that you see and downgrade it all the way down to like very basic doodles. Even I think these are still too good for a little kid, but huge shout out to Ren for designing these. Bestiary, we also have the people. So these are the people that Estrella will meet. So this page will get filled up and you'll be able to see different things about certain characters. So this is Estrella's father, Kofi. Kind of gives you a little information about it. It also gives you more depth on Estrella's personality as she writes. So like the note in the bottom right-hand corner, Papa is the best dad ever, and he looks so young too. The aunties in the village keep trying to talk to him, but they need to go away. He's busy, and he belongs to Mama. So it's kind of like the idea of this young kid is like, these people need to leave my dad alone. He's my dad. So really trying, once again, spelling the narrative with it. Quest, this one is kind of still a work in progress, but the idea is it is written out as if it's Estrella's journal and she's writing out what she needs to do for her missions. And then notes, which we haven't collected any at this point, but they're going to be different things and scraps of paper that Estrella finds, so you can get pieces of information about certain people, denizens, or maybe like blueprints that'll let you build other tools. So there's that section for the journal. And then finally, we have the team. This is where a lot of people will probably live. This is where you're equipping all of your tools and accessories and crystals. So right now, if I select I am Estrella, I want to go into my slot and I want to give myself this gravity machine ability. Now you can see when I go and switch to Estrella, gravity machine was added into my action menu. So now I can do the same thing for Bells. I can say, Bells, I want to give her the Gia crystal, which is our fire crystal, and maybe give her Shadow Steps. So that is going to be one of the abilities. And maybe actually I want to switch out the Crow Release ability for a, let's give her a Earth Crystal to use. So there we go. So now we have all of our action menu items that we've set. And you can do this at any time when you are not in combat for the game. So kind of taking a look here, we can probably use one of these abilities. So Wes, I'll let you pick. Estrella or Bells, who do you want to see destroy these crates?
Bell.
Oh, you said bells?
Yeah, bells.
Okay, now which ability or crystal? So do we want to do fire, earth, water, or her shadow steps? How do we want to do it?
Shadow steps.
Shadow steps. Okay, I'm not sure how this one's gonna work because usually it's targeting, but Bells' shadow steps also plays with her story. So let's see what happens.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay, so it actually doesn't do any physical damage because I think it needs to target, and these technically aren't targetable. But let's go ahead and have her do her fire. So she shoots
That was the
fire
next one. Oh,
and
neat.
destroys. Yeah.
That's cool.
And you know what? Let's go ahead and try Earth. Let's see how Earth is gonna. Oh, whoops! Did the wrong one. All right, so we're gonna do Earth. So she summons pillars
Oh, wow.
and destroys those. Yeah, and then we'll try water. So now this is Bells. They summon spheres of water
Oh, neat.
that will give damage to any contacts on it.
Well, that's...
And you can see.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you can see that even though Bells, we've used her fire, water, and earth, and those were pretty cool attacks. Now, if we switch over to Estrella, this is Estrella's fire. It's more kind of like a trapped volcano, and then Estrella's water, which I showcased earlier. Oh, wrong button. Is more kind of like tidal waves that come in.
Yeah.
So once again, selling the idea, they use their abilities and crystals differently. But yeah, you were gonna say something, Wes?
Yeah, no, I just think that, you know, it's always kind of like, oh, it's neat, it's a barrel you can break. But like, when it comes to things like this, where you can test out your abilities on, they become more important. So I think it's kind of cool that you just kind of have those laying around like that, because that's really a great way as you're demoing, like, how to see what those new abilities do. Rather than waiting for a monster to come up and you say, hey, how does this work? Oh, okay, I wish I would have known that.
Yeah.
While you're going
definitely.
through this, somebody had a question. Well, two things. Someone brought up the mini map, and I told them it's a work in progress. But the other person asked, they ask you, how do you find your art collaborators? Or sorry, they were asking about your artist collaborator, and it, you know, they did ask, how do you find your art collaborators, and if they may ask, if you had a commission price. Like, if when you're looking for someone, is there...
that's a 100% great question. So we started this project back in, I think, like, the original idea started in 2016, but we didn't really start working heavily on it until 2019. So it's been almost about 5 years. And throughout that time, we met a lot of people local here, like at OSU, but then we started branching out, and I did a lot of grassroots campaign. So I used Reddit in different forums. There's a Reddit forum called INAT, which stands for I Need a Team. And that's where I met a lot of fantastic artists who were just looking to either improve their skills or had like really low commission rates or things like that. Now, I am very fortunate that everybody that is on this project believes in this project and is willing to be able to work on it at no cost at the moment because they understand we have no funding. We've created this with $0, like absolutely nothing, which I think my developers have done an incredible job with no budget to be able to pull this off. But we are in a situation where every single person on our team, artist, programmer, writer, is an independent contractor. And that contract that we have with each of them states that their only job and work is to help publish the vertical slice. But as soon as we acquire funding, then we would want to bring them on as paid contractors so that we can actually make the full game. So it was kind of an agreement that we had with them where we explained our situation. We were very upfront, told them like, we have no money, we can't pay you, but this is the idea. Everybody believed in the project. They wanted to see it happen. They liked Estrella's story. So they were able to give up some of the time that they had in order to work on it. But to where to find those people, Reddit is a great resource that I would recommend. And like I said, that Reddit forum, INATS, I Need a Team, is good. There's a GameDev Reddit forum at the same time, and some other game group Discord groups here. I know I met a couple people here in COGG, not that joined the team, but just like understanding what they're doing, things like that. So yeah, that was a very long answer, but hopefully that helps. But yes, looks like you posted it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
IMAP
found the
group.
link, and I think that's important that you bring up that, you know, you could kind of start a game organically and you bring a couple people in, but I've done so many projects like that where you don't really understand what everybody's like goal out of the project is sometimes, and it's really important to try to bring that towards the beginning of the project as clear as possible, because then you get to the point where it's like, you know, people are working weekends or they're working after hours or whatever, and you don't want to dismiss someone's like goals for what they're trying to do in the project, because yeah, it's a lot of time, right? And a lot of times it's just kind of the grunt work of just building something from the ground up. So as long as you're clear about that, I think then you get to the point where you do get to this aspect of, hey, we're going to publish this and then we're going to bring you on and pay you and whatever. And that's good to know. Like, if you kind of say that to people in the get-go, it makes it feel more comfortable, like where they're putting all the time and effort into something like this. And that's even like, I'm not saying if you do or don't, but like you can bring in the legal part of this too, right? Like you can say, hey, we've got an LLC, we have different expectations of folks, like this or that, and it can be scary, I'm sure, but a lot of times you just want to consider those things because you don't want to be working that stuff afterwards because it becomes more challenging. So I would definitely encourage people that if you're looking to sell a game at any capacity, and even not sell a game, I think it's important that you try to think about those things and kind of showcase, like through fair support, what those expectations are. And if you need help with that, like I mentioned before, there's many resources out there that we've shared within our group. Like there's the business channel, and if you need, like, you know, people to support legal aspects of that, I can connect you with folks too that might be able to help support you in that aspect. But yeah, I think it's good to just be upfront.
Absolutely. Yeah, just be upfront and you're good. We were, shout out to Jason and Nick, my two co-founders for Afroduck Studios. We designed and created an LLC first, and kind of got all official. Jason does a lot of the heavy grunt business work because that's just boring to me and I don't like it. But it does help when you kind of have a structured plan, and it really does put confidence in other people when they know, like, yes, I really want to do this. Let me see how I can help, because I believe in the project that you're trying to achieve. So yeah. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to DM me on Discord. Join our Discord. We're trying to improve our followers to, in part of our pitch deck, show people that this is something that people would like to see. So it's like, yeah, it's cool. Let's see, in talking about the game, where we are right now, we're actually almost done with it. So we're in the puzzle room. This was a feature added in by Nick, who wanted some sort of puzzle. This is a very simple, rudimentary puzzle, just flip the switches in order to turn on the factory. So right now, Stray and Bells have been exploring blind, but now they found the power switch, and hey, the lights are on. So
now, when you
have,
say, not to interrupt too much, but that you finished the game, you finished the vertical slice, right?
The vertical slice, that is correct.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for the clarification. The game is far from being done. This is just a vertical slice.
Yeah.
We've been working on this for a while because the game is big. Yeah. Boys and girls, don't make an RPG as your first video game ever. Don't do it. It's not a good idea.
Unless you're inspired to.
Unless you're inspired to, or you're extremely stubborn, which that is where I come in. Yeah. But everybody on our team has enjoyed the journey. I'm sure they will comment and say, yeah, everything works perfectly as long as Quessy doesn't have any ideas. So that is how it goes, and that's kind of the culture of our team, right? We tease, we have fun, but in the end, the main goal is to get Estrella's story out there, because we want her story to be told here. So let's finish up beating these. All right, so now, and you've kind of seen we've made our way through the entire factory area. So this is actually kind of one of the big parts of our level design, where this is where we started and we just made a big circle. But in making that circle, there's a lot of depth with the story, and this is a very small piece. You learn different functionalities, you understand all these features, all these different things. So now we're going to make our way to the boss room. Oh, I will mention these little blue sparkles that you may see. These are called narrative moments. I'm a narrative writer. I love story. I love all of that, but I didn't want to shove it down in people's throats. So the narrative moments are basically just small pieces of, interaction and dialogue that Estrella has with Bells in order to give them the idea of like a conversation as they're exploring. One thing I want to do in full development is kind of do how Persona does it, Nino Kuni, a lot of JRPGs, where you have dialogue between the characters that show up in the top right or bottom right-hand corner, that it's not voice acted, but it's just kind of conversations they're having throughout their journey. So that is one thing we had to kind of compromise on because we couldn't implement that specific feature as much as we wanted. So let's finish this up. And Wes, I know you've played kind of a version of this before at GDEX, right? What was your experience with it?
No, it's night and day, like compared to what I had before. I mean, I think the other one was just you're filling in the features and aspects of the game. It felt like, I mean, there's a lot more to do. I think it was the biggest thing is the first one was like there was a lot of walking and not a lot going on quite yet. Where now it's like there is something to do every single second of this. And I think that was the big thing is like adding then these like narrative pannings and illustrations of the story is really important. And I think you had that, but it was like a lot more condensed at this point. Even though there's a big expansive world, it feels really filled in comparison. Some of the things I posted too, just as a point for you if you want to look them up because you're looking for publishers. Wholesome Games has a publishing portion of their presentations, so if you're ever interested in using them as someone to look into, I think this would fit really well. And the other one is Steam has a game, but they're kind of their own company, but Ludo Naracon, which I think actually unfortunately happened this month already, but you can keep an eye on them. They're for narrative games, and they're a great group too to get involved with, either as showcasing on Steam or I don't know if they have a publisher aspect of them too, but okay. I think your game would fit in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. I'd love to. I'll definitely connect with you after this, because yeah, we're getting close to polishing it up, at least to the point where it's like we're happy to showcase this is what we can do. I think I've asked too much of my team for the past like 4 or 5 years, so it's time to try to get a return on all this time investment. So, but I think we're in a very good spot, much different than what the game used to look like. And I'm really happy with everything that my team has been able to do. Huge shout out to everybody. I'm just the idea guy. They are the ones that really brought this to life, and I'm so grateful and happy with what they've done.
So that being the case, do you have a pitch deck of how much you think it might cost to finish a portion of this game? Like to where it's like, okay, here's a short, mid, and long version of this game. Like long being like it's on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and it's like 30 hours long or something. Like, do you have those different things thought out? Like how much it would take to get this out to the hands of people?
Yeah, so what's funny is I actually have a meeting with Nick and Jason tomorrow. But in our pitch deck, we have the budget set up for how much we need to create for like the whole game. And I think right now, considering that we want to bring everybody on, ooh, this is a bug. I shouldn't be able to do this, but it's fine, no problem. What was I saying? I think right now we're sitting at about, for the full game itself, we're asking for about almost 800K. And that's to bring like everybody on the team, all the features that we want, because we use Hack and Plan to get a lot of the numbers set up. So yeah, I think that's where we're sitting at. It might be a little bit more, but I do know that is where we're at. Yeah. See, when it comes to the business stuff, I have no idea.
Well, I was
know
gonna
enough.
say,
What is that?
if you can go either to an expo, or I could maybe connect you with folks that are in the industry, have been through these publishing talks before, it might be good to, like, you're kind of doing the last push on the vertical slice in terms of getting feedback from players. Maybe it would be good to do a soft push launch to someone for your publishing deck too, because you never know. You're like, I mean, the number's always a hard thing. It's like, okay, like, I'm gonna say this, and someone's gonna tell me multiply that by 3. And it's not, they're not inaccurate. Like sometimes, I mean, sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. It just depends on what you're looking into. And it's getting all these different facts and features into this, knowing how long it's gonna take. But I think it's just maybe doing that too as a soft launch and throwing it to someone's way and say, hey, are there any things I'm missing if I'm going to send this out? Very nice. Yay. I'm going to send this out to like PlayStation right now. They want to do a call. Am I ready? Are we ready for that? Because it looks great. Right. And I think that it's pretty close to being the point where it's like, okay, send it out, see what it looks like, and someone being like, okay, I get it. Let's finish this game. What do you like? How much are we asking to do this? Because there might be resources, like especially if you go to a console, they might be like, okay, well, you're gonna need localization if it's gonna be on our platform, and you need to get QA people. We can pay for that for you. Like we can bake that in unless you want to have a team locally that you pay for. But those are things that you're gonna want to talk to people about. Like, okay, is that an option or not? Because if, say, you're releasing it on Steam, you may not have the option of having someone test or localize your product. So those are things to kind of keep in mind, as well as, are there things I might be missing in this that, a publisher, depending on which one I'm talking to, may ask, right? And even if you're like, we're not planning to have that, at least they know that that's, part of that conversation.
No, absolutely. And I think there's a couple people that we've been talking to and have kept in communication over the years, that we want to kind of do a pitch run with them, kind of like show them like, this is what we're looking for, this is what we're asking, just to get some feedback, that are veterans of the industry. So we do have some of those relationships. If you have anybody that you'd want to recommend to us, we would be open to hearing anybody, because we love to get as much eyes on this as possible. So
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, you got Peter Carswell in there.
Yeah, so all
him.
of the credits that are here are people that donated to our original crowdfunding campaign.
There
hey,
I
Wes,
am.
look, there you are. Look at that. So yeah, everybody and Multivarious and COGG is here too. GDEX, Torg, Cleveland Gaming Classic, all these places that we've interacted with or even just said hello to. We put them inside here as a thank you, and then obviously the biggest thank you of all for where this all started comes to the original Afro Duck at OSU.
I never knew about
that.
There's original Afro Duck. That's
there
too
is
funny. That's too funny.
the original Afro Duck at OSU
Oh my gosh.
was there. And then really quick, just this 30-second thing, just to kind of show this is what our, let me see if I can pull it up really quick. So yeah, we have YouTube, we have a lot of stuff here. Let me see, Afro Duck Studios. This is our, for those who remember, I think,
Oh
yeah. So
yeah,
this
this
is
is
what
it.
the old project used to look like, and so you
Yeah.
kind of see the transition that we made
And it's cool
um,
looking. Don't get me
over.
wrong, like it looks neat, but like yeah, this especially I was talking about, like it's just there's a lot of empty space, and I'm so glad that oh man, there's parts of this that are like, oh okay, that looks really neat, but then once you get into like, okay, yeah, there could be some cleanup here and there, and yeah, I really like the direction you guys went into.
Yeah,
It's,
it
like I said,
was
it's
it
kind of
was it
night and
was
day.
good. Yeah, it was. I would consider this like our first game to test things out, and then it's like, all right, let's just do a little bit more with it. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's all I got for right now. Join our Discord, please. First
Yeah,
our game.
we've got that in the chat. Obviously, like, do you have a place that you shared in our COG server, like
For
for this
the,
game?
I don't,
Let me double check. I mean, you're
I
obviously
don't
more than
think
welcome to share it anywhere.
so, but I
Uh,
can. Um,
yeah, because
let me,
if you want to post in the Share Your Games channel, you can post your Discord, you can post your updates, and when you're asking for folks, when it makes sense. And I know some of it's like backer related, but you can post it there, and that'll ping. Oh, you do. Here. Oh, well, you don't have to make a new one. Uh, cool. And then I just posted, so now that's to the top. So if you add
nice,
updates to that, that gets pushed to the top for the last 30 days, so people see the latest and greatest. Um,
awesome.
but
Thank you.
yeah, so post your information there, and obviously, like, please do join their Discord and wish list their game and all that good stuff. Any way you can help is always appreciative. So great! I'm so glad that you got to show this because uh, every time I see it, I know there's always some really great updates and whatnot. So any way we can
Hmm.
help you, let us know if we need help promoting or if you want to do a let's play or some special events. Be happy to kind of help any way we can. That's anybody that we can. We try our best. Um, the two ones again I mentioned before, Ludo Naracon is narrative based. It's an expo, but they sometimes have I think they're sponsored by Fellow Traveler if you're familiar with them, the game studio. But they do some cool stuff with narrative games. They usually do something on Steam. And then the other one is the Wholesome Games. Wholesome Games, they do a big presentation game, event every year. It's kind of like Nintendo's big presentations they do every year of the games. So Wholesome Games is kind of like a live stream of a bunch of games coming out. So if you can get on that, that would be really cool to get there. I don't know
Nice.
what the different requirements are for those. I think Ludo Naracon is kind of if you've got it on Steam, you can kind of sign up for that, and they kind of highlight certain ones. But Wholesome Games might be finished games. I'm not sure, but yeah, those are just some ideas that come in my head. And then obviously, like I can connect with you with people. You probably already connected with them in COG, but maybe to talk about like
I,
going through your pitch deck. So
yeah, I will connect. We will connect with anybody. Absolutely.
sweet. Well, cool. Well, thanks so much for sharing, and I appreciate your, doing a shout out. I think that'll kind of carry us off to the end of this stream. I had a couple things I could showcase, and then maybe I'll highlight them real quick. But thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And
Yep,
I,
absolutely.
are you gonna be able to pop into the Discord afterwards, or are you not able to
Yep.
stick around? Okay.
I can
No
pop in
obligation
Discord.
to, obviously. I always do this for everybody. If they want to pop in, we're going to join in the general Discord of our channel for COG, and so I'll be in there if you guys want to catch up, especially for folks that are new. It's a great way to kind of get to talk to us, and if you have questions for developers or if you just have questions about the group, you can kind of go in there too. So, sweet.
Cool. I will see you there.
All right. Thanks so much.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, without further ado, since we're kind of running out of time, I'm going to just do a quick highlight of some of our COG group stuff. Short stuff. We won't have a lot of time today, so I'll just do a quick highlight. So let me go ahead and switch over to this one. So this was actually, I think, Viv Games. This is one of the games you work on, Exterminator. They're Exterminators of Saturn. This is a game that you, I think, if I recall correctly, worked with his brother. Definitely check them out. It's a top-down twin-stick shooter inspired by the classic retro arcade games with loads of enemies, fast-paced bullet hell combat, and big boss battles and tons of bullets. So definitely check that out. It should be, or it is came out January 23rd, 2025. So it's a great game to kind of take a look at. So yeah, it looks really cool, man. I don't think I had a chance to give you feedback, but I definitely will put that on my list to play. And then another game that's coming out, work in progress, coming soon, is A History of Dragosa. So if I remember correctly, you said this was kind of more of a narrative-based game. So keep on the lookout for this. It's a really cool looking game. It's a text-based choose-your-own-adventure game with multiple stories, each with several endings, stories you create through branching narratives that are kept. You can read them again or show them to friends. So definitely add to your wish list. I thought I already did that. Cool. And then the only other one I was going to do a quick shout out. A game that got posted in our Share Your Games is called Rotten Sails. So this is a sail cursed waters to hunt valuable artifacts from cursed islands. Manage your ship, explore dangerous ruins, and deliver treasures to your Armada guild before darkness claims you. So yeah, this looks really cool too. It's a 3D-like game. Very much in something I am very interested in looking more into. Looks like something right down my, up my alley too. So yeah, definitely check those out. Those were the three that I saw. I mean, there's definitely updates all the time. I would highly encourage that if you get a chance to, like I said, go into our Discord channel, and then if you go to Share Your Games, there's games being updated all the time. Punch Rock, I don't know if I saw that one. I thought this was somebody else, but that's another one. Oh, you got a Dreamcast. Oh, Phil. Yeah, you're playing on the Dreamcast controller. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll give a shout out to this. I thought this was another game I saw, but it was not. So this looks really cool too. Maybe Itch.io will load. Maybe. Oh, she's struggling. There we go. Yeah, this looks cool too. Yeah, so maybe I'll have to play these sometimes. And if you're interested, if you're on the stream, you're watching back or whatever, we'd love to have you at our next. We have Prototype and Play. Again, that's Friday, June the 20th, 6 to 9 p.m. at Game Arena. Or there's the Boxline Media GameDev meetup, just like this, on Sunday, 4 to 7 p.m. at Boxline Media. And if you ever want to find those, just go to our meetup page and you'll see our events coming up right down here. So there's the Prototype and Play event with the directions and everything, GameDev meetup at Boxland, directions and everything right there. Sorry, June 29th. Yes, I did say that right. I hope I said that right. My mind goes like crazy, so if I sound like I said something weird, it probably was me. So yeah, definitely check out our Share Your Games channel. There's a lot of really great updates. Some of these we played in the past. Some of them maybe you haven't played, but should. Check them out. And if you ever want to showcase your projects, this is a great place to use it as kind of like a home base. So if you want to share your Discord later, you can do that. You can put that in here, updates, all that good stuff, because people update all the time. Like Drift. Drift does quite a few updates periodically. So cool. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I'm going to have to use the washroom real quick. But definitely check us out in the general channel. This is a mic channel. And you can always type in the general channel here too, whichever is your best. If you don't like mics, that's okay. These two channels we're going to jump into after the stream. And I encourage you, if you're new, to jump in, say hi, even if it's just for like 30 seconds. We'd love to talk to you, love to get connected with you. And if you have questions for our presenters, or if you are a presenter, you want to jump in the general channel, say hi if there's questions, or just want to get to know each other, this is a great place to start. Yeah, so I'll go ahead, let me get back to my face so you guys can see me. Hello, good to talk to you. I'm going to go ahead and copy that link for you all. So join our general voice channel. Doing that live. You can go in there. Once you're in our Discord, should be able to access this as well. But yeah, anyways, I think that's it. That's all I have for today. A lot of jam-packed stuff. Thanks for everybody stopping by to say hi and for showcasing your games. We can't do this without you. Like I mentioned before, people are like, hey, do I need to pay for this? Like, no. This is all volunteer. All just kind of help each other out. We're just here to kind of showcase what you're working on. We obviously find this really cool. We obviously see that you guys think this is pretty cool, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. So thanks for everybody stopping by. It helps a lot. Share our group, share our information if you can. That helps to get us out to more people. And if nothing else, have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great Memorial weekend. Spend time with your friends and family. And if you happen to do so, make some really cool games. Thanks again. We'll talk to you guys later. Hope to see you in the chat. And if nothing else, we will see you next month. All right, we'll see you later. Have a great rest of your day. And bye-bye.